Yeah, well, same as the ones in Perth. Told you. No, I love it. I mean, I know how it is. I know it's nothing personal. Maybe it is. If it is, I don't care. But, it's sports and it's amazing. Thank you for coming out, supporting, booing. It means like you guys care about the sport. And I appreciate you guys coming out, showing. And when I won the fight.
Does this win in a way, like the way you won, almost prove something more? Like a lot of people are questioning your cardio. Can you go 5 rounds? All that stuff. Like, does it feel good to kind of shut those people up a little bit?
I don't care what people think about doing my thing. So
DDP recently opened up about his loss to Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. Khamzat responded by saying that although many fans often talk about how strong Dricus is compared to other fighters he has faced, he personally did not feel that strength during their fight. He mentioned that Dricus was not as powerful as people claimed, and the difference became clear once they were inside the cage. Khamzat said he was able to take him down easily and felt that Dricus's physical strength was overrated.
Sometimes a lot of fans talk about Dricus and about how strong he is. Compared to some of the other guys you fought, was he very strong or not really?
Nah, not like people talking about. So could take him down like anyone else.
On the other hand, DDP said after his loss to Khamzat that he did not take the boos from the crowd personally. He explained that it was just a part of sports, and he appreciated the fans for showing their passion, whether they were cheering or booing loudly that night. He added that when he won in the past and received cheers and respect, it meant a lot to him, so the reaction this time did not bother him at all.
Yeah, well, same as the ones in Perth. Told you. No, I love it. I mean, I know how it is. I know it's nothing personal. Maybe it is. If it is, I don't care. But, it's sports and it's amazing. Thank you for coming out, supporting, booing. It means like you guys care about the sport. And I appreciate you guys coming out, showing. And when I won the fight, people were cheering and giving me my flowers. And it means the absolute world to me. Even though you booed, it doesn't matter. I know it's not personal. It's a name of sport.
Moreover, Khamzat was asked if his win proved something more, since many people had questioned his cardio and whether he could handle 5 full rounds. He said he did not care what people thought and only focused on doing his job inside the cage. He mentioned the numbers from the fight, which included 529 total strikes, 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time, and 12 takedowns, and said he never got tired. For him, those stats were proof enough that the doubts about his conditioning were wrong.
Does this win in a way, like the way you won, almost prove something more? Like a lot of people are questioning your cardio. Can you go 5 rounds? All that stuff. Like, does it feel good to kind of shut those people up a little bit?
I don't care what people think about doing my thing. So, like you said, how many strikes I landed on him, how many takedowns I has there. So I didn't guess out. So now they know.
Yeah, it was 529 total strikes and 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time, which was the second most ever in a UFC fight.
Yeah. How many takedowns was it?
Let's see.
4, right? Yeah.
You had 12 takedowns.
So, yeah, that's big by itself.
Furthermore, Dricus Du Plessis admitted after the fight that Khamzat had incredible control on the ground, like a blanket, who seemed to know every move without using much power. He explained that in key moments he had to choose between staying on his back or letting Khamzat take his back. Dupi gave full credit to Khamzat, saying he deserved the win and was the better man on the night. He promised to come back stronger and take his belt again. He also thanked the fans, saying they make the sport possible, and without them, fighters would not have a job.
The man has incredible control on the top. He's just like a blanket. I mean, he knew what your next move was going to be. And he got it without using too much power. And I had to decide, am I going to be on my back or have him on my back? Big ups to Khamzat. He deserves this 100%. He beat me fair and square tonight. He was a better man tonight, and I'll be back. And I'm coming back, get my belt back. But for now, it's his, and he deserves it. Thank you for all the fans who came out and supported us. You make this amazing, and without you guys, we don't have a job. So we really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I'll be back stronger, better than...
Additionally, Khamzat was asked about having Dricus's back and why he could not finish the choke like he had done to other opponents. He explained that it was mostly because of the sweat, which made it harder to secure the submission properly. He said he tried to go for the finish in the last 30 seconds after hearing his corner call out the time, but by then it was too late to lock it in fully and get the tap.
You've had that back position on a lot of guys and you'd be able to choke them out. Was Dricus doing anything right to defend it, or?
Just because I was sweating, I went under last 30 seconds, tried to finish him. So I heard my corner says 30 seconds, that means to go to meet him. So I tried, but make mistake. So thankful for my coach, he gives the black belt, but I was like, when I went under, fuck, I don't have a black belt now. So, but he gives me respect. Thanks.
On the other hand, Khamzat said that if there is anyone to look at next, it is Renard de Ridder, because it would be very interesting to see how he could handle the wrestling of Khamzat after the way he dealt with Bo Nickel. Sonnen explained that Khamzat's dominance had to be described carefully because of how overwhelming it was. He pointed out the numbers, showing that Khamzat landed 537 strikes compared to only 49 from Dricus, which is a ratio of nearly 10-1. To give perspective, Sonnen mentioned that he once held the record himself with 311 strikes, and Khamzat completely broke that mark. He stressed that judges gave out 108 rounds across the board, calling it one of the most one-sided world championship wins in UFC history.
And that's RDR. And that is very interesting. Seeing how RDR could deal with the wrestling of Bo makes you wonder if he could deal with the wrestling of Chimaev. And we have to word it that way, guys, because what Chimaev has shown, the dominance that he has shown, there was 537 strikes landed by Chimaev. Now, let me put that in perspective because I used to have the record. I had the record and I crushed the record to win it, and I had 311. 311 was the record. I know that for sure because I had it. He had 527 against 49. 49 strikes. So it was 10-1 Chimaev. And when you see something that incredibly dominant, and there was all sorts of judges throwing up 10-8 rounds tonight. I mean, this was one of the most lopsided victories in history for a world championship.
However, Daniel Cormier said that tonight a new champion was crowned, Khamzat Chimaev, who went out and dominated Dricus Du Plessis for 25 minutes to win the title with 5,044 scores across the board. Cormier admitted he was surprised at how easily Khamzat was able to take Du Plessis down and control him throughout the fight. He gave credit to Dricus for never giving up and continuing to believe he could turn things around. Cormier pointed out that Khamzat looked too driven, was in tremendous shape, and proved once and for all that questions about his cardio were wrong.
Tonight, a new champ was crowned in Khamzat Chimaev. He went out there and he dominated Dricus Du Plessis for 25 minutes, won the championship 50-44 across the board. I was very surprised at how easily he was able to take Du Plessis down and control him. To his credit, Dricus never gave up on himself. He continued to believe that he was going to eventually get Khamzat and win the fight. But as the rounds went on, you saw that even though Dricus has a championship's mindset, it wasn't going to matter. Chimaev was just too driven. He looked like he was in tremendous shape. If there was a knock that Chimaev had no cardio, that's been proven wrong.
Additionally, Daniel Cormier said that Dricus Du Plessis needs to focus more on wrestling, but Khamzat Chimaev went out and did exactly what he wanted to do. His pace, pressure control, and cardio were all on point, and he looked more prepared than ever in his entire career. Cormier called it pure dominance, noting that the bookies were right to favor Khamzat, and he proved them correct many times over. As for Dricus Du Plessis, Cormier said he now has to return to a division full of tough contenders and dangerous opponents.
Yeah, he needs to be wrestling more, but I mean, Khamzat Chimaev just did exactly what he wanted to do. His pace, his pressure, his control, his cardio, everything looked on point tonight. He looked more prepared than he's ever been in his entire career. His whole career has been impressive. So it's pure dominance, man. The bookies were right. They knew, and Khamzat Chimaev proved them right 10 times over. And for Dricus, he goes back into a division full of sharks.
However, Dana White said that before the fight, he predicted the main event would be fight of the night, but after seeing Khamzat dominate, he was not surprised by the outcome. He explained that if someone controls the first round like that, they can usually keep it up the whole fight. On the Crossix position, Dana noted Khamzat landed nearly 200 punches in a round, and while they were not fight-ending shots, nobody wants to be stuck like that. He said it drains a fighter's will and leaves lasting damage. Dricus' face was busted up, and with the knees to his body and legs, Dana said it would be a long, painful flight home to South Africa.
The lead up to this fight, I said, I bet the main event is the fight of the night. Didn't see that coming, but not shocked either. I mean, you go in and dominate the way that he dominated. You can do it the first round. One likely going to do it the second and throughout the rest of the fight.
On the crucifix, it's a weird one, right? They're landing strikes. He's landing like 200 punches around, but they're not quite hard enough to end the fight. Are you glad the referee doesn't wave the fight off in that?
Listen, I don't know how hard they are, and I don't want to know how hard they are. Nobody wants to be in a crucifix getting punched in the head like that. It's got to be the most frustrating, suck the heart and soul right out of you type thing to happen. And just getting dominated on the ground the way that he did is no fun for anybody. I wouldn't say that, he's getting pit-a-pat striked. I mean, his face was pretty busted up. The knees that he was taking to the body and to the legs and the hips, and it's going to be a long ride home to South Africa.
Moreover, Michael Bisping said that the UFC has a brand new champion of the world and the first ever from Chechnya, as Khamzat Chimaev went out and completely dominated Dricus Du Plessis from start to finish. He explained that the fight was not even close, with the judges all scoring at 50-44 and even giving a 10-8 round. He pointed out that Drake stayed composed, focused, and never panicked, still showing confidence between rounds, and even at the end believing he could find a finish despite being dominated.
They've got a brand new champion of the world, the first Chechen champion, because yes, Khamzat Chimaev, Boris, the undefeated, went out there and absolutely ragdolled Dricus Du Plessis from start to finish. It wasn't even close. I mean, when you look at the judges' scorecards, the scores were 50-44, 50-44, and 50-44, all across the board. Now, there was a 10-8 round thrown in there. There could have been a few more 10-8s. The reality was Khamzat Chimaev went out there and just wiped the floor with him. He did. Dricus never gave up. Fair play to Dricus Du Plessis. He stayed composed. He stayed focused. He didn't panic. He didn't quit. He didn't give up on himself. In between rounds at the start of the fight, he was still kind of jovial and saying, look, listen, I got this. At the end of the fight.
Meanwhile, Alexander Wolszanowski said he picked Dricus Du Plessis before the fight, expecting a wild storm of chaos and scrambles that could wear Khamzat down over 5 rounds. Instead, it played out differently. Khamzat took Dricus down fairly easily with little resistance and controlled him without spending much energy. Wolszanowski explained that the lack of scrambles was because of Khamzat's control, which prevented Dricus from creating those tough positions. That efficiency allowed Khamzat to go 5 rounds comfortably, proving his pace and composure. Wolszanowski gave him full credit and called it an incredible win.
Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis. I picked Dricus. I thought, as I said, there's going to be a crazy storm that he's going to have to try and weather. He was able to weather it, but I thought there would be a lot more chaos happening. I thought there would be a lot more scrambles, and that would wear on Chimaev more. But that wasn't the case. He was able to, not much of a scramble, got him down reasonably easy, or like just the way they went down, it was like there wasn't much of a fight there, and then was able to hold him without probably using too much energy. And I think that was great for Chimaev. I know a lot of people, he went 5 rounds easy. I want to know when he has to really force the takedowns. He was able to be in positions that not as much scrambles, which I thought Dricus Du Plessis would be able to do, but and that's because of Chimaev's control. So, that is Chimaev's doing. That's why that happened. So, again, incredible. Wait, let me make this all at once.
Moreover, Joe Rogan said that for Dricus to come back from this loss and close the gap with Khamzat would be a huge challenge. He explained that the grappling dominance Khamzat showed was not just one level above, it was multiple levels beyond what Dricus could handle. Rogan noted that Dricus had no real answers for that kind of control, and he questioned who Dricus trained with in camp, suggesting he clearly did not have partners with that same level of grappling skills.
For Dricus to come back from that and bridge the gap between him and Khamzat, that is a tall task.
Yeah.
It's a tall task, because that kind of dominance, that kind of grappling dominance was not just a level. It was multiple levels. And it just didn't seem like he had any answer for that. I don't know who he brought in to train with him, but clearly he didn't bring in anybody that had that kind of skill.
However, Sean Malley said everyone knew it was only a matter of time before Khamzat Chimaev became champion. He questioned what makes sense next for him, whether to stay at middleweight or even move up to 205, mentioning possible matchups with fighters like Alex Pereira or Mahmoud and KV. Malley said he did not see much of a challenge from Sean Strickland or even Israel Adesanya.
God, we just knew it was a matter of time before that dude was champ. Yeah, so what makes sense for Khamzat Chimaev? Does it make sense for him to fight at 185 again, or is he too dominant? Does it go up to 205? Ankalaev's fighting Alex Pereira. Even still, it's like maybe Ankalaev versus Khamzat. It could be interesting, maybe, purely on how big Ankalaev is. Down. There's absolutely, I don't think there's anything to break down against Sean Strickland, even Izzy. As much as I fucking love Izzy. Khamzat, Imavov, they're all strikers, dude. You have to be an absolute... You have to match that skill of wrestling. He did that to probably one of the best grapplers in the division. I mean, DDP is no slouch on the ground. What a fucking freak of nature. God, that is years of hard work.
Meanwhile, Robert Whittaker said he had mad respect for both Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis because there were moments where each of them impressed him. He explained that everyone expected Khamzat to dominate the first round, but not many foresaw the finer details like trapping Dricus in the cross effects and landing hundreds of punches. What really surprised Whittaker was Khamzat's ability to maintain that level of control and pressure for the full 25 minutes, which he described as mind-blowing, calling his grappling the purest build he has ever seen.
And I'll say props, like I have mad respect for both guys because there were moments in the fight that both guys really impressed me. Now, Chimaev, everyone knew the first round was going to look like that. Everyone knew. Not the finer details such as the crucifix and him just like laying 400 punches on his dome like that. But like we knew he would get him down and hold him down. Okay. What we didn't expect was Chimaev's ability to do that for 25 minutes. That was mind-blowing. And I messaged he's a man after my own heart, dude, because he is the most purest build I've ever seen. Dude, like he put all his stat points in wrestling. Like it is so good to see.
That is it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about their upcoming fight? We would love to hear your thoughts on their upcoming clash. So share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.